Welcome back everyone to the Complete Pineleaf. I am back here with Glowing, who has a daring plan.
Greetings, traveler. Will you stay a moment?
I've done some thinking, Pineleaf, and I think I know where those Dourhand villains brought your friend Bingo. They have launched a number of attacks on my people from the stronghold in the High Crag. That place is called Gabilazan, and it seems to be the Dourhand base of operations in this stretch of the Misty Mountains. Are you talking about to that place where I found that map? Are you talking about that place where I went with your son to kill Skorgrim? That Gabilazan? Yes, you've heard of it then. Good. Go back there and defeat the Dourhands there in order to learn where they are keeping Bingo Boffin. Alright, and what else is there? What more could the plan offer than this, Pineleaf? The opportunity to fight villainous Dourhands is justification enough for any such plans. If you want the opinion of this dwarf. Brilliant, Glowing. Just brilliant. Brilliant. Here we are, back in Gabilazan. And most likely there are some Dourhands around. Yeah, there's still a few around. Despite us dealing with Skorgrim. I suppose then they are just following form, wondering what to do. We have no leader, so we'll just go around raiding and creating trouble. Which is pretty much what they did with Skorgrim around. So it's not too much has changed, probably, from their point of view. Well, maybe one or two things. They no longer have to worry about Nazgul, fell spirit driven corpses of dwarves, things like that. And Skorgrim was essentially a dwarf wight. And that's what it was like if he was occupied by a fell spirit or something like that. We'll just have to deal with as many of these Dourhands as we can get. That's 7 down. And a few more to go. Hey, hello you! How'd you like to be included in my count of Dourhands killed this day? I'm sure you'll love being included. That's right. No Dourhand should be left not included on the list, or, well, something like that. Hello! Oh. There are 3 of them there. Hello there! Well, it gives me my quota of Dourhands. That's at least a good thing. There you go. Now, what about this place? Unfortunately, none of them seem to have any information on them. Maybe they're too busy just groaning. Oh, there's a cage there. Groaning and dying in order to answer anything. Hey! Where'd you take the dwarf? You know, I'm not behaving very well when you think about it. Wasn't I supposed to be very good and behaved? Yeah. But no Bingo here. Ah, you must be the one who freed our captive. Now you will die. Well, someone's already freed Bingo. Well, that's good news. Now, where did he go, and where did the rescuer go? Wait, there's a dwarf out here. Maybe he'll know something. Let's see. Hold on. Isn't that Spalvy? Hi there, Spalvy. Now, do you know what happened to Bingo?
Wait! Hear me out! I am not your enemy!
Well, yes, it is true that I deceived you and your hobbit friend, but I did not truly wish for either of you to come to harm. The more I dwelled upon it, the more I realized I could not stand with my brothers for this. I could not stand it. When their guard was relaxed, I freed Bingo from his cage, and we fled from Gabilazan. But In our haste, that poor hobbit did not pay close attention to his footing, and the ground gave way. Bingo fell into this hole here, and I fear he fell beyond the reach of my voice, for he has not responded to any of my calls. I think I heard splashing from far below, but I cannot be certain. If he did survive, he will need supplies. If you return to Kabilazan and collect bundles of food and the bottles of water that the dwarves carry, we can drop them down into the hole after Bingo. Yes, if he did survive, he'll need any of the water and food that we could provide to him. Please trust me, Pineleaf. I will do all I can to make this right. Hello? Well, let's go back to Kabilazan and see if there are any more Dourhands that would be willing to donate some food and some water for the cause of allowing Bingo Boffin to survive. Ah, here is the first volunteer. Oops, sorry about that. Thank you for the bottle. Apparently we have bottled water today. Whoa. 6 Dourhands, 6 bottles of water? Well, some of them might not have full bottles of water, but we'll have to do with what we have. We also need some food. Well, there's some food supplies. Okay. There you go. Well, let's see. Well, for Bingo, he might need a little bit more than that. We are talking about Bingo Boffin here. There you go. And 2 bundles of food. And I guess up here is where we'll find the rest. And in case you're wondering, I did some questing in Forgeld between episodes, and during that time I got enough rep to get the cloak, so I switched into that because it looks nice and cozy and warm, and it's one of my favorite cloaks to use because of that, at least for the winter areas. Deep dark hole. There you go, some supplies for Bingo Boffin. If Bingo did survive the fall, these supplies should help. If they don't land on him, that is. Wonderful!
I feel really bad about this. I swear, I will help you find your friend.
I'll help you to find him wherever he is ended up on my account. I am certain he will be fine, and we will all laugh about this when it is done. I will do some thinking about our next step, but know that I will not abandon the search until we find him safe and sound. I will make this right. Very well, we'll make it right. That's it for our daring plan. Now, it's time for us to find something else to do. While Spalvey thinks about what we're going to do relating to Bingo Boffin, I've headed over to Estildine here to speak with Dourhand to find out about these messages from Angmar.
How can I be of service?
Welcome, Pineleaf. Did Aragorn not come with you? Alas, but that is fell news that he's too busy with other matters. Well, there's naught for it now. You'll have to do. Are you prepared for a long, dark journey? Why not? I've been through enough of those already. It is through Ram Duath into Angmar that I must send you. Oh, goody, into Angmar.
What can I do for you?
Perhaps I should start from the beginning. Many years ago, one of our captains, a man by the name of Goladir, desired to enter into the realm of Angmar, for he had heard rumors that the descendants of the ancient hillmen of Rudour had made for themselves a home there and began again to multiply. He suspected also that a shadow has come again to Carn Dûm, for fell creatures began to spread southward into the North Downs. Aragorn forbade any of us to go there, for that land is still an ill name, though it has been barren for hundreds of years. Nevertheless, Gulliver gathered those who would go with him and passed out of our memory, until a few weeks ago. A wounded falcon arrived bearing a message from Cornier, one of Gulliver's company, stating that he has been dwelling at a place called Alcare, a village of the hillmen somewhere north of Ramduath. Will you go there and speak with Cornier? The urgency of his message makes me fear what has come to pass. I deem we have not yet seen the darkest times. Oh, goody, goody, goody. Let's go and speak with Cornier. We have arrived at Alcire, the little area where the Angmarim. Hello there.
Come hither, Southron. I would speak with you.
I do not know you, stranger, and it is my my tribal duty, to know all those who come into these lands. If you come in friendship, and are strong in body and spirit, you have nothing to fear. Present yourself to our chieftain, Cronog, and he will find a femme for you to perform. If you are weak or dull-minded, there is no place for you here. Travel south into the lands of the soft, or go north and find some place to die. Cranog's ruling seat is here in Alcire, west of the settlement's central island. I withhold my greeting until you have been accepted by Cranog and have a femme of your own to perform. Right. Wonderful. And yes, that is something I am going to be doing. That is not an official part of the epic, but I always think of it as an honorary part of the epic storyline, since the results of this quest line eventually feed into the epic. Oops, sorry about that. Hello there. I come from the south.
Trust does not come easily among the Travegorg.
You have come to Alcire, but you are not one of us. You are of hobbit kind, I believe. If you wish to be counted a friend of the Travegorg, you must undertake a tribal duty, a femme. I may have such a task for you. Yeah, and what is this task?
I would speak with you, Southron.
All who call themselves Travegorg must have a purpose. That purpose is their femme. If you have no femme, you're no Travegorg, and no friend to us. Prove yourself worthy of being called a friend of the Travegorg of Alcire. I will give you such a femme if you do all that I ask of you. It is the place of a chieftain to direct his people to do great things, even in the face of danger, and many dangers are arrayed against Alcire. Torquil, Rife, and Osbale will tell you of some of these. You will aid them in facing these evils, and you will return to me when your first challenge is met. If you are to prove yourself to me, you must prove yourself first to my people. Very well. To Torquil, Rife, and Osbale. Well, here's Osbale. Hello there. I've been asked that you have a task for me to do.
Come hither, Southron. I would speak with you.
Our chieftain is testing you, Southron. If you are of stout of heart, you will prove yourself worthy. If you're not, I do not lie when I say that coming here will be your greatest mistake. Some days past, I was surprised by a pair of wargs among the foothills north of Alcire. They are vicious, dangerous creatures, and my escape was made more difficult by the refusal to leave the pair a straight path to the settlement. But this I would not do. You could not lead them to the settlement, so therefore you made a difficult trek back. Okay, but I am fleet of foot and know the land hereabouts, and I made it back safely, if winded. But the wargs are newly arrived to Fossachlaran, and it will not be long before they make it here. Defeat these dangerous creatures. You will find them not only in Fassaklaran, but also within the fortress of Tor Galvin, northeast of Alkhaire. Whether they guard the Trev Dourhands there or serve as jailers, I do not know, but I know they must be defeated either way. If you do this, I will tell them Crannog of your victory. All right, very well, I shall do so. And what do you say, Torquil?
I would speak with you, Southron.
My brothers were great warriors, and they gained much honor in battle against the Trev Dourhands and the orcs of Angmar. All spoke highly of them, and both women and men called them mighty. But even the mightiest man can be felled by a single arrow loosed from hiding, and so it was with my brothers. Orcs beset them in the cave Morfield, and they were defeated. I have petitioned Crannog for vengeance, and now he sees fit to unleash you upon the orcs in my stead. I hope you are worthy, for if your strength is found lacking, it will go poorly for you. The entrance to Morfield is in Fassaklaran, east of Alkhaire. Defeat orcs in and around the caves, and make them pay for the deaths of my brothers. Right, so we have someone who wants vengeance, someone there, and what about you?
Have you come to help us against Carndum and the Tre Dourhands?
The Trave Dourhands press us at every opportunity, Pineleaf. We must oppose them with all of our strength, but still Crannog insists on caution. Caution! The Trev Dourhands serve their commanders of Angmar now, and they carry their tokens. In return for their bondage, the Trev Dourhands have been given the fortress city of Tor Galvin. We must take these tokens from them and show that the Trev Galorg will not stand for such betrayal. The fortress of Trev Galvin stands to the northeast of Alkhaire. Travel there and wrest skull amulets and bloodstone pendants from the traitors who now live in that place. Return to me with these tokens, so that I will tell Crannog of your efforts on behalf of the Trev Galorg. Whee! Lots of stuff to do. Hello, Coroner. I was sent here from Aragorn to investigate the matter of the bird you sent.
How can I be of service?
And who are you? Nay, it matters not. All that matters is that you have come. Matters are grave, and we have need of any assistance that we can muster. These good people are beset on all sides by the tyrants of Angmar, who now gather a mighty army to march south and crush the elves and Gondor between their hammer and the anvil of Mordor. Time grows short, and we must act quickly if we are to hinder the shadow of Angmar. Perhaps I should tell you somewhat of our long story. When we first came unto Alkhaire, the hillmen were suspicious of us, but not overly hostile. Golidir quickly earned their respect, for he was a great captain among us, and was able to inspire the heart. We learned that the hillmen were under the oppression of a remnant of Angmar that had returned to Carndum from over the Misty Mountains. But worse, a sorcerer much likened to the Witch King of old has also come to this evil city. The hillmen call the sorcerer the False King, for they knew well that the Witch King himself could never return to Angmar. Golidir determined that this steward of Angmar had to be stopped before he could gather strength in the north. He gathered together as many of the hillmen as he could follow him, and journeyed east with the rest of our companions, believing that Angmar was not yet strong enough to withstand a united front. I was left behind to take word to Esteldine in the event the expedition failed, which it did. Do you wish to hear more? Well, I might as well. That's why I came here.
How can I be of service?
So you know how this tragedy came to be? In truth, I don't know. I do not know whether it was through some mechanism of the false king or whether it was purely an evil chance, but our march was brought to an abrupt end. As we marched east, we found ourselves confronted by a vale filled with terrible statues. Ramas de Leon, the hillmen called it. That name, some spirits of evil vengeance abode in those stones, there was no doubt, for we could all feel the oppression of them. It was here that Gulliver bade me remain. As the host passed through the stones, it became clear why the hillmen feared the valley so. When the last men crossed the Ramas de Leon, the watching stones threw forth a terrible malaise of oppression, such that those men caught within it were stricken dead by the weight of it upon their hearts. I tried to pass the stones, but could not. Gulliver bid me remain, and so I did. Days turned to months, then years, and still Gulliver did not return. I knew I should have returned at once to Elsterdine, but I could not abandon my captain. I tried vainly to cross the Ramas de Leon until my very spirit was broken within me. At last I sent the message to Elsterdine, which brought you hither. We must learn the secret of Ramas de Leon, Pineleaf. Perhaps one of the many lesser stones which litter the land, especially near the camps of the Angmrim and Hillmen, will reveal the secret. Go to one of these lesser watching stones, and take a rubbing of the runes found upon the base. Beware the fell and deadly stones, for they have too terrible a power. What will we find when we go and collect that rubbing? Will we be able to deal with the challenges laid by the Hillmen? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.